Everybody in? Don't look like we got in.
Hey, Elliot, I'm gonna give you a couple more minutes to join your audio. We're gonna start with Lit Ann first. So I will let Mr. Williams open up, and then hopefully by the time he's done, you'll be ready. Okay?
So am I just introducing myself? I'm sorry.
Hold on, I'm gonna give us a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna kind of open up the forum. You'll feel it, I promise you. And we'll just turn it over to you guys. I got you. You ready, Dr. P?
Yes, I'm ready. And then all too. Okay. Good evening and welcome to JCPS NAACP Collaborative Community Forum. I am Dr. Michelle Patrick, the Education Chair of the Louisville Branch NAACP. And my co-moderator is Mr. E. Brandon, the Satellite Office Supervisor from the Department of Diversity, Equity, and Poverty. Before we begin, I ask that you put your microphones on. This will help eliminate any noise that may be playing in the background. There will be a question and answer period tonight, and we hope that you have a lot of questions that you would like to ask. And these forums are designed in order to provide viable information for those individuals who join us. And we also have tonight, our forum is on student programs in JCPS that enrich the students' lives. At this time, I would like for Mr. Brandon to talk to you about the links that are available, and he will welcome and introduce our guests for tonight.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Patrick. My name is Ian Brandon, Satellite Office Supervisor for JCPS. And I would like to bring, first and foremost, greetings on behalf of our Chief, Dr. John Marshall, and allow the opportunity for any board members who may be present to say hello. So want to remind everyone that this is a family-friendly forum. So we are promoting positivity and encouragement to everyone. We do have a post-forum survey that I will post in the chat. We would love to hear your feedback on how we're doing and possibly provide suggestions on whom you may want to hear from the district for next year. So again, today we will be highlighting our student programs, and today we will be highlighting the Literacy and program, our Grand Master's program, and Becoming. And so from Lit In, we have Mr. Nicholas Williams, Miss Paula Forrest as our teachers, and Miss Elliott from the student perspective. From Grand Masters, we have Mr. Wesley Mays and DJ. From Becoming, we have Rashay Brooks from Central and Letitia Sutton from PRP, and students Deary Hutchison and Cassidy Woods. So at this time, I will turn it over to Mr. Nick Williams, and he will talk to us a little bit about the Literacy and program, what you can expect, and all the good things about Lit In. Mr. Williams, thank you.
I'm going to close the door real quick. All right. Well, my name is Nick Williams. I am a behavior interventionist at J.B. Atkinson Elementary School currently. Right now I'm coaching, so I'll coach the swim team, and we're getting ready for the JCPS show on Saturday. So I'm sorry, that's what I'm doing right now. But I wanted to talk about the Literacy and program. Lit and is literally one of the best summer programs that I've ever taught in since just being in education. Very cool activities for students and great just activities as far as like something they're not used to. I know a lot of African American students or just this generation, they play football, they play basketball, and those are the main sports that they play. But just introducing them into different activities like tennis, things, swimming, that we usually don't see our students participating in has been just great for them to open up and try new things, and not just those things that they are provided during the summer, but just taking that extra step to say, you know what, not used to this, but at the same time, let me go ahead and do it. And then also tying the literacy part in with all of those activities is what really makes the program great. I know that this past summer we had in Lit Swimming, we had a book that talked about an Olympian having all of these different struggles. And so just having the students to relate and take those different struggles and understand what he was going through and put them in their lives and what is going on in my life that I can push through and I can persevere and all of these different things really helped them and brought out different sides of the students just in those 2 weeks that we had them. They opened up, they built communities with students that came from all over JCPS that they didn't know. So just really trying to help them understand that, with perseverance, with hard work, all of these different things, that's how you push through life and that's how you reach success. So I just love that they show the dirty work that needs to be done in order to get to success, because I think a lot of the time we just see the glitz and glam of everything. But I just think the Lit and program really brings students from all over JCPS to show them that there is different ways to have outlets to or just to build communities with other people, and that's what I love most about it.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Hi, Elliot. You're on mute.
Hello.
Elliot, I would love for you to introduce yourself to everyone and just tell us, obviously we see your name, but what school you go to, what grade you're in, and what Lit In program did you recently participate in?
Okay. Hi, my name is Elliot Lanier. I go to Brandeis Elementary School. I'm in 5th grade. And I was part of the Lit and Swimming.
That was down here at Shawnee, correct? And do you remember who your teacher was for the program?
My teacher was Mr. Williams.
Mr. Williams, awesome. Well, will you take, let's say, as long as you need, no pressure, tell us a little bit about your experience in Mr. Williams' class.
So it was really fun because I really needed something to do in the summer. And being in his class was good because we got to like read books and the book we read was very interesting because it talked about this Olympian who had drowned in the pool and like his dad had died and he had to like keep going and get better at swimming. And it kind of inspired me to get to like swim and like learn how to swim because I kind of don't like water. So, and then being in this class was fun because I liked how there was like people who looked like me and like I could learn new friends. And like even now there's a friend that I play with out of school. So I'm really good. I'm really happy that I got that experience. And also I was like still being productive in the summer instead of like sitting home and watching TV. I was still doing work and that was fun. Well, it was fun. And also I liked how we got writing prompts because I like to write, and I was still
I remember
learning.
those. Yeah.
So yeah.
Was Mr. Williams' class the only class you participated in for Lit In, or did you guys switch classes and do something different?
So we collaborated with the other class, but like we stayed in his class for like the whole camp. But like we collaborated with the other people, and like we got to see them.
Do you remember what the other class focus was? So you were lit in swimming. Do you remember what the other lit and program was?
So I think that we were doing the same thing, but like they would start with swimming, and we would start with literacy.
Did you do any
Drama.
drama?
Drama.
Oh, yeah. The drama was the best part,
Okay.
in my opinion, because I'm very dramatic and I love acting. And we had somebody from stage one, which I was currently doing a play for stage one, and I got like some extra experience, and that was really fun because we got to do poems, and it kind of got like helped me get experience with like talking front and getting used to talking in front of people.
How do you think the summer program with Lit In prepared you for transitioning into a new school?
Well, honestly, I don't like to hang around like lots of people because sometimes I get irritated. And I got to learn how to like collaborate with them and like get to know other people.
Can I ask you? Absolutely. Do you see any benefits from this program for other students?
Yes, because like not only are you getting to like do other things, but honestly I just feel like people in the summer or kids in the summer, they just like are really lazy, and I feel like sometimes we need to get out the house and like be more productive in the summer.
So let me ask you something. This program is only limited to certain schools. Is that not correct, Mr. Williams?
Certain schools, as in, I know certain schools have the program in there in the summertime. I know it's not all JCPS schools. So
Okay.
that is just selected through the DEP program. They select the
Okay.
schools.
So my question to you, Elliot, do you feel that this program should be district-wide, that it should be offered in every school during the summer?
Well, I feel like there's lots of people who look like me, but also I feel like I should get to like hang around other people like with diversity. I feel like there could been like more diversity so we can hang around like other people. So I feel like it should be district wide, just like know other people.
So thank you, Elliot. I we all appreciate your participation and your responses.
Thank you.
A couple more questions for you, Mr. Williams. Um, can you talk to us about the training a teacher has to go through in order to either be a sponsor of this program or teach during the summer?
Um, well, the training definitely comes from your just school year. Just making sure that you're doing what you need to do in your own individual schools. But I do believe that the training that we do receive for Lit and just specifically is good because it really does give us a lesson plan and frames everything for us. But it's one of those things where the training gives us our own leeway to do our own thing. to bring our own styles of styles of teaching, styles of learning, and place them into the curriculum that is given to us. That curriculum is easily to be, it can be manipulated. We can take this part out, we can add this part. So I think the training really does help us and shapes us to truly understand the students that we're getting ready to serve, but also how to take this program and amplify it to be more than just simply, oh, we're reading a book and we're going to swim. So I do believe that the training is great. And even if you're not a Lit Ed teacher, I think that it would be a great training for all teachers in their own classrooms in their school, no matter the demographic they serve.
Mr. Williams, I have a question. Do you, is there any obstacles that you encountered while doing this program? And if so, what were those obstacles?
I think the only obstacle was the students kind of mingling with each other. Just being from separate schools and trying to get them to be a class community in those quick, that's a quick time to do that in a month. So it's just one of those things. I think that was the biggest obstacle for me, because I've taught the program multiple years in a row. So I'm very comfortable in everything that is given to me or thrown to me. But it's one of those things where it's just like being a classroom teacher. Some things happen, the lights go off, this happens, you just keep rolling. So as far as obstacles, it would just be building those communities. But it was easy once you got to know the students. Like within that first week, after that week, the second week, it was like, okay, I know you all, we all know each other, like we're a family now. So once we got to the end of the program, it was one of those things where I'm just like, oh no, I gotta leave y'all. Like I'm not gonna see you all anymore. So that was probably just the obstacle I faced.
Let me ask you this, how many weeks was this program happening?
It was about 4 weeks. So it was 2 weeks for one thing, and then you switch.
Do you feel that by the time you get to know each other, the time is rolled away? Do you think it needs to be extended? You think it needs to be 6 weeks?
I think if it was 6 weeks, it would give us a better time to complete our projects and let that project like really see what the kids learn during that time. I do believe that if it was 3 weeks, that we could build larger communities. I think that we could have more outsource come in to teach different things. I think it would be great to have more time, honestly. Just keeping those kids engaged for 2 more extra weeks is going to benefit us rather than hurt us. So I think it would be great.
Maybe I can make that suggestion.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad.
Well, thank you, Mr. Williams, and thank you, Elliot, for sharing your experiences. At this time, I will like to turn it over to our Grand Masters program. We have, again, Mr. Wesley Mays and Mr. Greg Van from DEP. I would like to start with Mr. Mays from a teacher's perspective and lens, and then Mr. Van, if you could provide some support from a teacher, administrative, and or a student perspective. Mr.
We're
Mays,
gonna go with Greg first. Greg, you wanted to go first?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, and the reason I'm doing that is just to give a little bit of background. So we actually started the Grandmaster program in 2020 virtually, and Mr. Brian Smith, who I see is on the call, he actually was the virtual teacher at the time. Had students doing it from their homes with books, and it was way better than I could have imagined it being virtually. Back then, we didn't have a choice, but it was actually an amazing program thanks to his amazing leadership on the program. Then in 2021, we went to AMP and we did it in person at one of the AMP centers. He was also, Mr. Brian Smith was the leader at that time as well. That one didn't go as well, but it was because of COVID. We had to really shut down because it was a COVID spread. But when we were together, it was an amazing time. And the Grandmaster, the whole idea behind it is anybody that knows Grandmaster from chess, it's the person that basically has mastered the game of chess. But what we try to do is put a spin on it and say, trying to teach young men to become grandmasters of life. So trying to teach them chess principles that you can use in life about being focused, being patient, protecting the king and queen at all time, things of that nature. So that was kind of like the background for the program. 2022, we did it at Du Bois Academy. Again, it had grown from the year before. I think at this time, it probably was about 15 to 18 boys at Du Bois Academy. And it was led by Mr. Calvin Brooks, who is a counselor at Du Bois Academy. And it was an amazing time. That one, we pretty much focused for 2 weeks, had different men from different career fields to come in every day. So they did the chess in the morning, they did life skills. We would have lunch. After lunch, we would have a guest speaker to come in from Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. They would talk about their career field. So we had engineers to come in. We had real estate people that were in real estate. We had people that worked in athletics, a guy that worked in athletics at U of L, and they all brought hands-on things. So like one of the guys that worked at, I think it was Amazon, and he did supply chain management. So he brought in like things, some Legos for them to put together, and then basically he taught them using the Legos about when you go online and you order something from Amazon, all the steps that it takes for it to get when you click buy on your computer, what happens after that. So that was really great for the students to learn, because they learned about how many jobs are in that. You know, the airplane pilots that have to fly stuff across the country, the truck drivers that bring it from the warehouses in Kentucky to the city of Louisville, things of that nature. We had, when the guy that came from Ford, he brought out an electric Mustang, and that was when they first came out. So the boys got to go out there, sit in that. That's something they had never experienced because there weren't many out at the time. So I think it was very meaningful. And then we ended the day with physical activity. So we would do basketball, we would do cardio, things of that nature, basically teaching them about the mind, body, and spirit, and feeding every single aspect of your body. And then this past summer, 2023 was the best one we've had yet for a couple of reasons. One is because we had amazing teachers like Mr. Mays, Mr. Kevin Ashford, who's at Crosby Middle School, and Mr. Calvin Brooks came back again. So we had 3 teachers. Also, because we did it with a much larger group, so we had about 25 boys, and we also got to do it with girls from Becoming. So of course, anytime you got some girls involved, it made it even better. So the students loved that. We had guest speakers, so we were able to do our own thing separately, but then we were also able to do programming together. And I won't go into too much detail about the actual camp. I'll let Mr. Mays talk about the day-to-day of the camp, but it was a great program. And my favorite thing about it was that we had some guys to sign up that didn't show up on the first day, but the guys that did come, we retained them. And not only that, we had multiple young men that said, man, I told my friend about this program. I really love this program. And I was telling them they need to be in this too. So can I invite them? Can they sign up too? So we didn't initially plan to start allowing people to sign up late, but because of them saying that, of course, we allowed it. And we got some great young men that were able to be a part of the program. And it was only because the guys who we did have a part of it basically recruited their friends. So that was to me, that was my favorite part about it. She had Ms. Patrick hasn't asked about this, but I'm going to say one of the challenges that we did have was transportation. And of course, you know, sometimes the kids not waking up on time and the bus getting there, and then some miscommunications that we had with the transportation. But other than that, I thought it was a flawless program. And again, I can't take credit for it. I helped create the idea, but it would not have been possible without the great leaders who led it. So again, Mr. Calvin Brooks from Du Bois Academy, Mr. Kevin Ashford from Crosby, and then Mr. Wesley Mays, and I'll let him introduce himself and talk about the camp.
Good evening. My name is Wesley Mays. I am a teacher. I work at Westport Middle School. And the camp, I'm gonna say, first of all, was awesome. We always began the day kind of with breakfast and a meeting of all of us, the ladies of Becoming and us with grandmasters. In that time, we kind of play games, ate, and got to know each other and kind of mingle. right? There was a few things that we did. We went to took a trip to Roots 101, which was a great time. We went on two trips, college trips, U of L, Northern Kentucky University, and up to the Freedom Center. We had with Greg's now planning, we had people come in with did an ACT prep, which was a great time for them to kind of learn what the ACT was going to be about. And we did a lot of active kind of energy burning games where they would burn some energy that was daily. One thing we really focused on was being role models. As you know, if they do not, these kids do not have role models, they will go out and find role models, and the role models will seek them, and those are not always good role models for them. So it was great being great role models. Along with being role models, they were role models to one another. So in the area of them correcting one another and helping one another and just being of assistance to each other. I like the way they mingled together, how they, sometimes how they started out as on separate sides of the room, and kind of scoping each other out, trying to figure each other out, and then coming together to learn more about each other and the things that they share in common. All right, as grandmasters, we try to emphasize to them that they are leaders, and we want them to be leaders in the right way. So we did some things such as goal setting, setting goals, how to give them proper introductions, and how to be kind of successful in school, right? And when you meet someone, we had a speaker come in, Mr. Theron Cunningham. He talked about when you meet someone, meet them, connect with them like they got to connect. Speak to them like that they have a connect. Tell them about you, who you are, and the things that you want to do. And maybe this person could connect you with someone else that can connect you to something else. All right, we talked to them about the realities of being Black and male in the city of Louisville or in this world. So with that being said, we had to work on things like character development, make sure that they could be the best that they could be, even despite the situations that they come up in, despite what's going on around them. Knowing that the challenges in life will knock you down, but it's important to get back up and have people around you to help you up, to become more and be more than what you are. One thing we did have to address negative behavior. It wasn't always perfect, right? But when we had those situations where we had to address those negative behavior, we spoke with them, we got their feedback, we listened to what they had to say, and gave them kind of ways to handle certain situations. So it was important for us to give them tools to be successful, not just in school, but outside of school, right? Tools to be successful in life. A great thing about it is, like I was saying earlier, coming in contact with those girls. So we had to teach them how to interact properly with these young ladies when we did come together, right? Because sometimes they can always mingle and they learn it improperly. What they're learning in school, what they're learning with their peers, and what they're learning from someone just around in the neighborhood on the street. They don't always teach them how to interact properly with the opposite sex. So we wanted to make sure they mingle properly, and build those really good relationships. Most importantly, we try to be an example for them, and that was like really, really, really important. Just being that example for them. As I said before, finding role models are important, and we wanted to model good behavior. And a part of that was us being vulnerable, like letting them know that we're not perfect. We haven't walked through this world perfect, but what we want for you all is to kind of be better than what you are. We talked about ways to change Black wealth, and one of those ways for us, all three of us educators in the program, was that college education. The way to change the wealth for your family and for your future generations. We discussed then things about meeting and exceeding, previous generations. Again, healthy dating with others, and most importantly, living in your gift, and knowing your gift, living in that gift. When you find that, man, things will take off for you when you know your gift and you find your gift. That's about all I have. If I miss anything, let me know.
Dr. Patrick, I want to say what a couple more things. The ACT program that we did, it was with the group based out of Memphis, and they actually got to bring Memphis City School students as well. So that was a good experience for the students to get to interact with them. We also had a policeman, Charles Bradley, to come in and talk about gun safety and how to interact with the police as well, which I thought was good for him. And then lastly, Councilman Jacory Arthur came one day, spoke to him, and they got to give him feedback on the way they felt about some of the laws and some things that the city council was going to be voting on coming up, because he wanted to gauge their interest on how he should be thinking about these type of things. So one I know was about the skate park hours. And I can't remember the other two. I know it was 3 topics. I can't remember. Well, I think another one was about curfew for minors and something else. So that's all I have.
I have a few questions, if I may ask. And one of you all said that these students came back. Do they come back each year for this Grandmaster program, or is it just a one-time event for them?
We have had some students to return, but it's not the same group every summer. So of course, some of the students that sign up, they're like, hey, if you're doing that again this summer, I would like to sign up. So we do have some returnees, but not the same group.
Is it designed?
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
One thing we talk about coming back is like coming back every single day. Now we had boys that came that began the first day that finished the program with us. And there was times we felt like maybe they didn't want to, but they was excited and happy to come back. I think like DJ may have missed the bus one time. He lived probably within 2 miles of the school. And, you know, I saw him turning the corner, walking, basically running to get there. So coming back every day, there's so many other things that they could have been doing this summer. To get these boys up at 7 o'clock in the morning, to come and want to come in this program and spend the day with us, which was really, really awesome. So they was craving something that we was offering. And I was glad that we was able to provide that for them this summer to keep them out, because they would find something else to get into. They could easily find something else to get into, or someone could find something to do to them.
Okay, so I think my follow-up question to that, and when you talk about grandmasters, I mean, it's a level to become a grandmaster chess player. Is that not correct?
Oh, yes, ma'am. It takes a lot of work. And I don't know all the details, but I know you have to compete internationally to become one.
Right. So that was the reason for my question. I needed to know, are they allowed to come back? Do you teach them all the skills and then you just send them out? Or you all had some wonderful things you all were imparting to them, but I just wanted to know, let's say I came in 2000, this year, and y'all have the program again. Am I allowed to come back?
Yes, ma'am. You are allowed to come back, but one thing I know is when they get to the high school level, a lot of them try to get summer jobs. So it's a little bit harder for us to retain them once they get to their junior and senior year. Not saying it's impossible. Without us paying though, it's hard for us to get the entire group back. So I think we would have to bring in new students as well, even if we did keep some of them, unless we were paying them.
Was this strictly a middle school program, middle school age students?
No, so actually this year was high school, and I thought about something, not to compare us to any other summer program, but I know that we had around 20-ish boys every day. The girls had around the same number. They had a good amount too, but we were in Shawnee, and I walked to Shawnee, the actual school, because we were in the satellite office, and those high school programs had 1 to 3 kids in them every day. So that was another thing that showed me how impactful our program was too, because ours was a lot bigger than the classes that they had, that weren't the DEP program.
Okay, and what were you on 4 weeks as well, or were you 6 weeks?
So we were at the same time period as the other was because the district didn't want any conflicting days. They want us to be on the same schedule as they were. So prior to this year, we went longer, but this year we went however many days it was. I don't remember. I think it was June 20th through, I can't remember. But it ended up being about 3 to 4 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Say that extended time as far as weeks are concerned would be beneficial for your program as well?
It would be for the students. I don't know about the teachers because I know they wanted to take some summer break too. That's the only thing that I thought about. But the students, I think if we had went all summer, they would have come all summer because they really got enough, got that much out of it.
So you all did 4 weeks.
It was whatever I can look it up. But we all, I know us becoming and lit in, we all did the same time period because it was whatever the district told us we were supposed to do.
Yeah, he said it was 4 weeks for lit in.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah, I did 4 weeks. You just did a month. Let me ask you this as well. Is there parent participation in financial support needed from parents in order for their children to participate in this one?
Literally, the only thing I think they had to pay for was when we did the final trip that we did, which I think was on the Saturday after the camp ended. We went to, like you said, the Freedom Center in Cincinnati, and went to Freedom Center in Northern Kentucky. Went out to eat. We went out to eat, and I know weather messed up our college trip. But the only thing they had to do was bring money for their lunch that one day. And even that day, we had snacks and water for them. We just didn't pay for their meal that day.
Okay.
One thing I I got to experience all these camps because they were at the Shawnee Satellite office, but one thing that really stuck out to me at the beginning of the camp were the collective affirmations. Can you talk a little bit about the affirmation? Not saying you have to recite the entire affirmation, but just how important do you feel affirmations are in just starting your day and increasing self-worth and sense of belonging?
Ms. Mays, I don't know if you want to add something on to it, but what I'll say is I know that the girls becoming a program, they kind of started that. I think it's important, especially for our Black kids, for what they tell themselves, because a lot of time what we hear and see from the world, what they say about us, does not affirm us. So I think it's very important for us to teach our Black kids what they need to be telling themselves and having the positive self-talk and empowering them to let them know that they can do anything and they can achieve anything. We can do that all we want to, but when they are at home on the weekend or they're in school throughout the school year, they have to be able to affirm themselves because they don't always have a Mr. Mays or Mr. Brooks or Mr. Ashford that's in their corner that's pushing them and telling them what all they're capable of. Some of our kids are in schools and they just don't have that kind of attention that we are able to provide them in the summertime because of the staff to student ratio that we have in the summer versus what they have in their school. I don't know if Mr. Mays want to add anything.
Yeah, you're correct because we don't in the school they don't get all that individual attention that we're able to give them. And that's one thing that we really, really wanted to provide for them. That's why I talked about those tools for success academically and socially, making sure that they were able to handle what will come at them, the things that will happen to them when they finally get back to school, when they get back to life, when they get away from what we're providing for them right now, this space that we have for them. So just giving them those tools for success that are really important.
Yeah, and I had the opportunity to interview for our department's podcast, The Pillar, some of the participants from Becoming and Grandmasters, and I could just tell from that conversation that we had, Mr. Van, you mentioned the excitement that they had, the respect for the program and the teachers, and you can really tell that although it was a short period, they had growth. And I just love that conversation. If you have a chance to look it out, you can YouTube it. It's the Pillar Podcast, Season 3, Episode 1. But they did a phenomenal job. Last thing, Ms. Patrick, I have is I don't want to skim over the ACT prep part, Mr. Van, Mr. Mays, that group you guys brought in from Memphis, like that was a rigorous inclusion into the program. Like it just wasn't, here's some strategies. Like those teachers really dove in, broke things down, had them on timers. Like that was pretty rigorous. Can you give any more insight to how that came about and kind of what you feel that did for the students?
I'll let Mr. Mays talk about what he what he thinks he did for the students, but we brought them in because they are an amazing organization. They do a lot of great work in Memphis. They have a partnership with a lot of Shelby County schools, I think 13 schools. So they're actually in the schools throughout the day, supporting teachers and helping decrease their student to staff ratio. So when instead of having an English teacher with 30 kids in the classroom, you may have an English teacher with 2 to 3 success coaches is what their titles are, but they're current college students that are helping reinforce strategies. Sometimes they lead lessons, they do small groups with students and things of that nature. So they're a great organization. And like you said, it was rigorous, but when you're using college students to come in and to teach the stuff, it makes it a lot easier because they know how to speak the language that the kids speak. They never came in saying, hey, listen to me, everybody be quiet. This is what we're doing. They always start out with icebreakers and they ease into the work. But then when you do the work, it is rigorous. But then even on lunch, they're talking about what they did, maybe doing another game before they dive back into it. And then they also, even though it's ACT, they also incorporated life skills into what they did as well. So they may do ACT in the morning, but after lunch, they're doing healthy relationships in one room. And then they may be doing something else in another room. So it's a very unique approach to ACT prep, is what I say. So, Mr. Mays, you can tell them like what you witnessed from there.
Yes, but they focus on math, science, and English, which is part of what you're going to do in the ACT prep. And the thing that they taught them, they was teach them how to test, right? It was rigorous, and it was, of course, they had them on a timer, but they was teaching them how to test, what to expect on this test, how many I want to say questions for each section, how many questions you can anticipate in the math and the science and the English session, and exactly what you need, not exactly what you need to write, but how to stay on the script when you're participating in this. And I would say it was really, really awesome. It was exciting. It's very impactful. I loved it myself. I was like, I wish I had it when I was this age, but I thought they did an amazing job. The students liked it. They really, really enjoyed it. I'm sure, I think they talked about it on the podcast also, Mr. Brandon.
Oh yeah, I mean I got to see it firsthand, but hearing their experience kind of brought it full circle. I didn't want to overlook that part because I know it was, like you said, it was more than just ACT prep.
I do want to ask this question because what exactly is the age group that you were working with? And my second part is how much follow-up is done during the course of the school year after you've had these individuals in this program?
So this year we did rising 9th through 12th graders. Majority of them were in 9th and 10th grade. We did have a couple of juniors as well. But honestly, it was just a summer camp for us. The follow-up was more so from the staff. They have built relationships with the students throughout the year. So touching base with them, but nothing official like we have meetings or anything following the summer camp.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Van and Mr. Mays, for insights into Grandmaster's program. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Ms. Roche Brooks. and she will talk to us about the Becoming program.
Hello, I'm Rashay Brooks. So with the Becoming program, we focused on 4 topics, and that was be you, be intentional, be healthy, and be mindful. So us focusing on those 4 things, and we took each week to focus on those things, it allowed the girls to work on certain aspects that they never thought about, like be you. It sounds very simple, but what does it mean to be you? What does being you look like, and how do other people react to you being you? So it allowed the girls to firstly find a self identity in their beginning course of starting the program. So I think that was great that was what we started with. And like Mr. May said and Mr. Van said, we also had to work with the girls interacting with the boys, and how do you properly interact with boys, and also what things should you wear when you're outside of the house. So we also talked about dress codes and policies and stuff like that, or what could be appropriate, professional, and unprofessional, and whatnot. And we did start every day with a affirmation, and it basically just said that we are capable to do anything that we set our minds to. We are becoming, which means we're not finished yet. They are ladies who are working towards achieving a goal, which is becoming the woman that they want to become while they're the girl that they are right now. So that was another component and aspect. We had Sims counseling come in and talk to the ladies about self-care and how to do self-care things, whether it was short-term or long-term. They were able to get some mason jars and decorate it and write on popsicle sticks some of the self-care activities that they like to do. So if it was journaling, they would write journaling on a popsicle stick, and we would color code it to, is this something that I want to spend 5 minutes on? Is it something that I want to spend 30 minutes on, or is this something I need to spend an hour on? So depending on what they needed for that moment, they would color categorize it to the amount of time, and then they would write themselves what their self-care looks like, because everybody's self-care looks different than one another. And this also allowed the ladies to get new ideas of what self-care things that they might want to try by listening to others and seeing what things that they like to do that they may have never thought about, or thought maybe it would be harder than what it was. And our journal prompts allowed them to work on their writing skills and also how to communicate. So at first, a lot of people was nervous to share theirs. And then as the time went on, more girls became more open, and they were actually looking forward to sharing their journal prompts, and all of that. And we did stand when we did our affirmations. So that helped a lot because it allows everybody to take it seriously and look around at each other and know that you're in this together. We did have a few physical things that we did, which was some games that we played outside, but nothing too physical. Trying to think who else came in. It was Sim counseling and another group that came in to help with healthy decision making. So they helped with healthy decision making and how to communicate what decision you want to make. And if that decision doesn't go as planned, what should you do after that? When we talked about be healthy, we had an instructor who was actually a PE teacher, a teacher who was a PE teacher, and she was able to hone in on this subject and teach us exercises. We did line dances, which is what they love the most. We were able to, that's really how I think that they started to integrate and talk to each other, was through the games and the dances that they did. And one of the times game we played, we realized that there was ineffective communication between the groups because they were going back and forth of what happened in the situation. So we were able to debrief during that and allow them to see how you can collaborate and how sometimes you can't collaborate because of a miscommunication. So it was good to be able to do that in the action, in the moment, because a lot of times when you talk about it, people kind of forget all the steps that took place. So it was good to do that in the moment. And we did enjoy when the ACT prep came. So they did love that. And can't really think of what else to say. I'm not a big talker, sorry.
No, you did fine.
Would you like to introduce one of your students?
Sure, if Cassidy or Derry is a senior and Cassidy is a sophomore, and they both were in Becoming.
Welcome,
first-
ladies. We look forward to hear what you have to say about Becoming.
Well, let's start with Dieris. Did I pronounce that right? You can correct me.
My name is Darion. I go by Derry.
Derry, thank you.
You're welcome.
So tell us a little bit about your experience with the camp this summer.
Well, I came a week late to camp. I came a week late to camp, so it was most definitely an interesting setting to walk into a week late, and I bonded. It took a minute for me to bond with the girls because I came a week late, of course, but I also knew some familiar faces from school and other places outside of school. But it was most definitely a great atmosphere to walk into. It was very loving, very welcoming, and I enjoyed all the activities that I got to participate in.
Do you remember any of the affirmation that you guys did?
One of the affirmations that stuck out to me the most probably was, we can be anything that we set our minds to be.
Do you believe that?
Yes, I do.
Let me ask you something else. Well, what do you feel the benefits were in attending this program?
I most definitely feel like the benefits of attending this program was, of course, building a sisterhood amongst everybody in our community, but also learning how to become the person that I want to be later in life.
And what did you learn about yourself?
Something I learned about myself is because I'm not very open to making new friends, very being able to socialize in bigger settings with both boys and girls. I'm kind of closed off. It learned to teach me patience with interacting with others that I may not see a friendship in, or somebody that I know I just want to communicate with on a daily basis. It taught me patience, that everything comes with time.
Did you find it to be difficult to get other females to want to participate in this program called Becoming? Were you able to go out and be an ambassador to sell it to someone else? Because aren't you all doing that during the school year as well?
Yes, ma'am. We are doing it at school as well. I was involved in it at first, but now I'm working. So when I was involved in it at first, it was when it was first starting. So I was advertising it to younger girls that I knew I thought that it would benefit.
Okay. Cassidy, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm in the car right now, actually. I'm on the way to Georgetown.
Okay, well, safe travels to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll ask you some of the same questions. Did you have a favorite affirmation?
I would definitely agree with the one that Derry said, is that you can be anything that you want to be as long as you put your mind to it. Because that is really something that I know you just have to pray to God about it. And I know that's another thing that we really didn't talk about was religious, but I feel like a lot of the things that we learned in there, you could also apply to things that are said in the Bible and stuff like that. I feel like I really got to learn it from an aspect that was non-religious and then connect it back to my own religion of being a Baptist Christian.
Did you know many or any of the girls that participated in the camp? Could you talk a little
Yes,
bit
I
about?
actually Yeah, I knew Kaylin. I remember because I knew her from school, but the rest of them I really didn't know that much. And we actually kind of clicked very fast. Like it was more of a like we did a couple icebreakers and we were able to like talk up. I know with one of the other girls, we were able to talk about our favorite artists, and we were able to connect really fast based off of just liking a similar person or something like that.
And I know and you mentioned the word connect, and it only brings me back to a place right outside this classroom where I was giving you guys lessons in Connect Four. But can you talk a little,
Oh yeah.
can
You
you talk a
see, the
little
thing
bit of,
is,
yeah, yeah,
the
it's
thing
okay.
is, you thought you were the Connect Four king, and I actually beat you twice, and you beat me once, and that was about it. You didn't
Well,
I'm
want to
pretty
play
sure
me
I
after
recall
that.
beating you too. I'm pretty sure I beat you too. Just
well,
saying.
Yeah, I
I,
recall beating
you're
you
right,
multiple
you're right,
times.
you're right. You're absolutely correct. You know, um, sometimes us as leaders have to let, others feel what it's like to win.
Hmm.
And that's all. But talk a little bit about how some of your other friendships were created, or the bond, the sense of belonging that you guys developed toward the end of the program.
I would say that a lot of us were able to like. I didn't get to connect as much as the rest of the people did because at the time I had my phone taken. So like usually people would interact, give each other their numbers and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I was still able to connect with them on social media in some type of way because I did have some type of device. But like they still have a up and running group chat that people talk in, and it was really like it was like a sisterhood, like literally, because we were able to talk to each other. So it was very, we were very close when it came to the end of the program.
Ms. Brooks, where was this becoming held? Did you all just do this in the summer, or you did it during the school year? And where was it held?
It was
We did it
during the
summer.
summer. It was held at the satellite office.
Okay. So that meant that you had students from all around the district that came in.
Yes, ma'am. Had two seniors. So Derry and Shallow was our only two seniors, and the rest of the ladies were. I don't believe we had any juniors. I believe majority was freshmen and sophomore.
Freshman and sophomore. And this program was geared towards high school students too, as
Yeah.
well. Okay. What obstacles did you encounter as a leader of the program? Any?
I wouldn't say there was and any obstacles that I've encountered
Challenges for doing the program?
me. But I would say it was different making up so it was a little curve making up a lesson plan for becoming versus a lesson plan for dental, which is a class that I teach. But we had resources that we were able to websites that we were able to go on and find certain topics or lessons that fit the topics that we were talking about.
Okay.
But at first that was a little curve for me.
Was there any financial support needed by parents for these young women to participate in this program?
No, there was not. So the only time that the parents had to financially do anything was during that end of the year field trip on that Saturday when we went out to eat.
Okay.
And we also, oh, sorry, what you say?
Is there some kind of commencement activity, or is becoming something I can come back to each year, or is it a one-time deal?
I believe it's something that the ladies are able to come back to every year.
Okay.
I'm not sure about after graduation though. And as far as in the school, the actual school during the school year, at Central, we only have mostly freshmen and sophomores in the becoming, because we also we have two girl groups there. So kind of the 11th and 12th graders typically go to our other girl group.
Okay, how many schools have this program in it? Do you know?
If I'm not mistaken, I would say at least 4 to 5 schools.
It's
And
four
that
to
is,
five.
yes, ma'am, Central, PRP, Male, and Fern Creek for sure.
And Cassidy, well, what did you gain from this? What did you learn about yourself from being in this program?
Something that I learned for sure about myself is that like most of the time, like I'm not good with expressing myself verbally a lot of times, but I learned to like that I know what my emotions are. Like most of the time I struggled doing that at first, but the more I came to becoming, the more I ended up being able to express myself.
You say you on your way to Georgetown?
Yes. My sister, it's her senior night.
She goes to Georgetown?
Yes.
And you all are seniors. Where are you all heading? Did becoming help you decide where you
I'm
going?
not a senior. I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore.
I'm a senior. I'm actually I decided to go to U of L to major in dental hygiene.
Okay. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Both of you.
And I thought of an activity that they really enjoyed. We did a planting activity. So that was something, I know somebody mentioned earlier, Mr. Nick, that if we had a little more extended time, then some of those projects that we worked on, we could really see them flourish. So we did plant a plant, and they were able to see it sprout, but we weren't able to see it grow all the way. So it was good to see everybody honed in on getting their plant to grow. So everybody was really focused on what their plant would look like. Are they putting enough water, all the things that they needed for the plant to grow? And we tied that to what do we need for ourselves to grow.
You know, you told me 5 schools. Do you think this program would be worthwhile and worthwhile district-wide?
Yes, I do. And it was very great. I'm surprised when you asked if there was any relationships formed. Derry didn't mention Shiloh, because at first Shiloh was the only senior, and she kind of stayed to herself. And then when Derry came, they realized, hey, we're just alike and we're 2 seniors. So they really kind of became the mothers of the group. So I definitely think it'd be good district wide for everybody to collaborate. And again, like Elliot said earlier, to have more diversity as well. And we did actually have a little diversity in our group. We had 1 student.
Okay. Well,
again, thank you all for sharing your experiences and providing us with information about each program. I will let you guys know. I'm going to share my screen so you can see our next forum. As I'm doing that, you can see in the chat, I did post the post form survey in the chat. But feel free to take 2 or 3 minutes when we're done for that. March 7th is our final forum of the year. Our guest speaker presenter will be Chief Robert Moore, Chief of Schools. And the topic will be principals' expectations in supporting Black students. So be on the lookout for that link and register for that forum.
and I would like to thank everyone for giving up their time tonight to be with us. This concludes got one public service announcement. On February 29th, there will be a dinner, a video, and a panel to discuss the right to read. That will be started at 5 o'clock. Everyone is invited. And as I said, dinner will be served. Also, I want to, as I said, I look forward to our next forum, and I want to tell everyone happy Valentine's Day, because we're on it early, and also happy Black History Month. And we appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you. Talk to everyone later. Stay safe.
Safe travels, Cassidy. And work on that Connect 4. Just download the game on your smartphone and get some practice in.